This particular mirror is a mix of different cans, as you can see from the previous shot and then the shot you're watching at the moment. I have a good selection of different colours and different patterns, which makes the mirror much more interesting to look at while you're using it or while it's just on your wall. The first step I do is rinse all these cans out and leave them to dry so that they're not dirty, they're ready to use. And then I just need to flatten them. And to do that, I pierce a hole in the top end of one of them. I use either the pliers here or an old blunt set of scissors or some kind of skewer of sorts. And then because these cans are really thin metal, you just cut them round with normal scissors. Once you've got all your cans flattened, you need to prep your piece of wood or whatever you're going to mount your mirror on. Now I've got this, I think it's 90mm thick piece of MDF. It was just an off piece I had left over from the mirrors I was making before. I've painted it black. I've marked out where the mirror is going to sit in the middle of the wood. So now I'm ready to cut all the pieces of the can. So I've got this little template and it's about 2cm by 2cm, so roughly just under an inch by an inch. And I'm cutting a load of these squares out, positioning the template on an interesting piece of the can and trying to get a good selection of different patterns and colours as I go. So sometimes you want a bit of the logo and sometimes you want a bit of the pattern or a bit of the writing on the side, or even just sometimes a bit of a different colour. So working your way through each can, as you can see now I'm getting onto this bright orangey yellow one. Then just be careful with your fingers as you go because the edges of these cans can be quite sharp. Please do use gloves if you feel the need to or just for safety purposes. You get lots of little shards of metal coming off and flying off as you cut this, so do also please be careful and sweep up and clean up once you're done. And wear safety glasses too if you should feel the need. It is a good idea and I often do myself. Now back to the cans. I don't repeat any of the cans at all. Each can I have is a unique pattern, a unique logo, a unique make. I've been saving these up for quite a few weeks in order to get a few of these mirrors made. However, that doesn't mean you can't repeat them. I quite like having them so you don't have the same logo or colour touching as you place them round, but that's completely up to you. As you saw just now, I was laying them out just to make sure I've got a good design and like I said, so that no logo or colour is touching each other, so you have a good separation. And now I'm just fixing them onto the backing wood. So I use a staple gun, it's completely up to you. I used to use little nails, but it took a long time and it was very noisy. And the staple gun works brilliantly because the cans are so light and you can get away with a slightly thinner back piece as well. I used to do 18mm wood, but now I do the staple gun. I can get away with a centimetre or 10mm thickness. So the template works well for the side pieces. As you can see, they fit on perfectly, but these bottom piece and top pieces I have to bend over to get the right length of those. As you can see there, just bending it over and then just trimming them off, the excess off, and then using the same method with the staple gun, stapling them on in place. And I like to leave a slight border around each piece of can just so that you can see the colour of the backboard peeking through. And the last few here just being secured in, and you can see once you've already gone through that sort of layout procedure before you staple them in, it's a very quick process just to staple them on. Now I'm securing the mirror. The mirror's from IKEA. They come with the little sticky pads. However, they're not good enough, or I don't feel confident enough in them for what I'm using here. So I use a bit of this all-purpose glue that I've got from Screwfix here in the UK, smear it over, spread it about, and then attach the mirror. And I'm just making sure here that the mirror is centralised to the back piece of wood and aligned to each of the cans as much as possible. The final step I do, which isn't in this video, is I polish up the mirrors so they are all sparkly, shiny and ready to go.